So all those awesome costumes that you made, you talked about making an Elsa costume. Those all went towards your 2022 Dopey challenge. So tell everybody about that. We know the outcome. I fangirled about it. I mean, if our fans listened, they know what happened, but I want to hear it from you.
I think it's episode 7, by the way.
6,
oh,
actually.
Really?
I think we talked about it with Denise. So I think it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Very early for us.
We were so fresh, Brittany. We had one microphone sitting around a table, and
we didn't even edit. We were we were that early.
My stuff's not edited. I fully support it. Yes. So last year I ran the 2022 Dopey Challenge at Disney World in Florida, which is so they have a 5K, 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon. And if you run all 4, it's called the Dopey Challenge because it's pretty dopey to run 48.6 miles in 4 days. And I had just come off of an injury and a DNF at the Boston Marathon that fall because it was COVID time. So I had started the Boston Marathon and had to DNF. And I was just like, I just don't want my season to end like that. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself because I was racing elite at the Boston Marathon. And I was like, I don't want this to be the end of this story and the end of this training cycle. So I got with my coach and I was like, asked, kind of just her thoughts on what do you think about running Dopey? Because I'd run at Disney before and loved it. Those were my people. And it was just like joyful. And the Dopey Challenge was going to be something like a new challenge. So I ran all 4 days in a row. So it's, you get up at 3 a.m., you race at 5 a.m. every single morning for 4 days in a row. You run a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. I was in costume for each of the days as different characters, and I ended up winning all of them. And I was the first person to do that.
The Dopey Sweep.
Dopey Sweep. So it was just really special. Like that is just something that, like, I have a tattoo from it because
I was going to ask.
Oh, no way.
It's so cool.
Yeah, those are all my costumes that I did because it just was so special. And it was just a reminder that cool things can happen. You can do big shit. It can be different if you're just tapping into your authenticity. And that for me was just like so authentic. But I hadn't gone into those races with the intention of winning because I was just like, I just want to like be in my happy place. I want to run in costume. And I knew that that was obviously a possibility, but I was like, I don't want to show up here with the expectation that I like am going to or have to win. So it all just kind of came together. It was honestly, like, cliche as it sounds, super magical. And I just like that's still just like career highlight for sure.
I think that's the coolest thing.
What were your days like? Because like you said, 3 a.m. wake up call, 5 a.m. race. What were you doing after the race for recovery? Were you just like going back and jumping in compression boots and relaxing? Or were you going in the parks and checking out Mickey Mouse and Minnie and going on the rides and everything? What were you doing?
Well, I was at Disney. I wasn't going to just like hang around.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah. So one of the days I had gone to, one of our friends is the one of the like main guys that run Disney. So he took us around to all of the resorts. So we got to like tour all the resorts, which was really cool. We got a Dole Whip there, so that was fun. Went to their house for lunch another day. Yeah, kind of just like cruised around. We didn't do the parks, any of the parks on any of the race days or after the races until the day after. We got a VIP tour the day after the marathon. So that was cool. That was when we did like all the park stuff after. But yeah, we just like cruised around and like did stuff. I think maybe after the half marathon, I was a little more low key just before the marathon day. But yeah, I was too excited because I was at Disney.
I don't blame you.
Favorite Disney park? What's your favorite park?
Well,
or ride?
Epcot's rad because of the
Epcot
margaritas.
Is rad.
But,
around the world.
Oh man, that I do enjoy. But I think the ride it's the Avatar ride.
Oh, really? Which one?
I loved it.
Yeah,
the one where like
cool.
You're sitting on like a crotch rocket and the thing's breathing.
Yes, no, it was epic. It was so cool. Here's my only thing about it. I waited for 3 hours and I was like, I don't know if I'd wait 3 hours again for that.
I had a VIP tour.
Oh my God.
so we didn't have to wait in
Nice
line.
flex.
So that's probably why I liked it. I know. I'm sorry. That was so bougie.
No,
Yeah.
you're good. That wasn't there when I went. That was not even there yet.
The Avatar world was so cool, but I would even say the better ride at Animal Kingdom was the roller coaster, the Everest ride, only because I had no line, maybe.
That's a great one. Actually, my favorite of all time is Tower of Terror. I'll ride that thing over and over and over. I love Tower of Terror.
You should see the photo. If I find this when I'm editing, I'll be like, oh, I got to send Brittany the photo. I'm going to DM you a photo of me and my daughter on that ride. It was a whole story. We waited in line to go on that ride. It broke. So then on our last day, I did like a speed pass for it, and we went back to just MGM. I call it MGM. That's how old I am. It's now Hollywood Studios, right?
Yeah.
And we go there to get on the ride, and it's broken down again. And we waited until the last minute, and it finally opened with like 15 minutes to go in the park. And we got on, and the picture is just, I mean, talk about my daughter one time being like so excited and just holding on to me and so scared.
Oh,
and
amazing.
It's the best
you have
photo.
to find this photo.
Yes, I'm going to send it your way. And the Tower of Terror, you'll love this, was lit up as a gingerbread house.
Oh,
cute.
That's amazing.
Because it was Christmas time.
Oh, I love that. I mean,
Yep.
Disney does things right. They just hit it.
I think my favorite ride, Erica, and it has nothing to do with that I am in love with Gamora right now, but it was Guardians of the Galaxy. I went on that ride without even seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I'm like, that ride was awesome.
Do you mean Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes. Thank you very much. But these rides were not around when the last time I went. So I did Dopey back in 2017. That was
amazing.
one of my first like big adventures kind of into like longer distance running. And I went with my sister. We had an absolute blast. We did like 2 full days of Disney in the middle of the races, and we did like a Harry Potter like Universal excursion, and I mean those weren't around, the Avatar and the Guardians. But my favorite is the Aerosmith ride. That just like rockets you through and
rock and roller coaster or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
solid.
the only ride she wasn't tall enough to go on.
Oh, bummer.
Oh.
Yeah, she missed it by like 2. It was, I think it's because it goes upside down. She had to be an extra 2 inches taller, and I don't know, maybe she was 44, she had to be 46. She was able to do everything but that ride, which Aerosmith, I love, the greatest rock band of all time, and they're from, anyone want to take a guess where they're from?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yep. They even recorded some of their albums up here on Lake Sunapee. So.
That's cool.
Yep. Yeah, everyone thinks they're from Boston because that's where they bought a tiny little apartment and played in the apartment, and they're the bad boys of Boston. So it's just the whole New England vibe, but they're from here. I've seen them a few times. Awesome band and amazing ride. So.
Amazing. Well, you'll have to. Yeah. So then, have you been on it?
Yes. Well,
okay.
It's been about 20 years.
It still holds up.
Yeah. We might be going back in a few months to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Just me and my daughter, just for like 3 days. She doesn't know.
Okay.
So we might be going back. We're either going to do it this year or next year, but
cool.
Maybe she'll be tall enough by then.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be it.
She's 7 now, right? So they grow pretty fast at that point.
Yeah. Gonna just put her on some thicker, some shoes with more rubber on the bottom.
Get her some UFOs. Get her UFOs.
We'll get her some UFOs.
Yeah.
That shit's like Hokas.
Yeah.
That too.
No free ads, UFOs, but we love you.
Fantastic.